On Blues Radio International, Jesse and Audrey continuing our viral, antiviral world tour. Our next stop is Newton, Massachusetts for our friend Tyler Morris. How are you, Tyler?
Tyler.
Great, Jesse and Audrey. How are you guys?
We're getting by. We're with you, which is a really positive thing for our day.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on where you live with the COVID-19 situation.
Well, I mean, I haven't been out of my house for about 3 weeks. Aside from as you know, and I know you do as well. I fly some drones, so I've been flying drones in the backyard, doing work. But I mean, as far as going outside and uh, being with the public, it's everything's kind of shut down in Massachusetts. So I haven't been taking a chance since before they shut things down, like 3.5 weeks ago, I think.
Well, good. We want you to stay safe and your family well. And we look forward to coming out the other side of this. But in the meantime, we really appreciate your joining us because you've got a new album out. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. My new album, "Live in the Shadows," came out on Friday.
Congratulations
Well,
on that.
congratulations on that. I was hoping you could share some tunes from the album and tell us a little bit about the styles you're using as you approach each song, because you really do have a catalog of a lot of different classic styles, and it would educate us in listening to know along the way how you put these tunes together.
Yeah, so when talking with, I did this album with Mike Zito. For those of you viewers who didn't know that, and when Mike and I came together in his studio in Beaumont, we really wanted to do something that was defining. I think this is my fourth album in total, and my second in the blues genre. And my last album, I kind of showed the world, okay, I can play many styles of blues. Here's the styles that influence me. You know, on the guitar player front, my favorites are Freddie King and Albert. And then I also like guys like Gary Moore and Stevie Ray and different generation of blues players. And I was able to show the world that, hey, I've been studying these guys and I can apply it to my songwriting on my last record, Next in Line. So when Mike and I talked about what this record is going to be, this is really going to define, Live in the Shadows, it really defines the Tyler Morris style, which is a culmination in everything. And I love all those guys, but I like to really show the world what makes me me, and that's as I said, that's a culmination of everyone. So this record has, believe, 7 or 8 original tunes, which I mostly do originals for my record. But we have a few covers in there. We picked those very, very not not I'm looking for a word, not wisely, but we picked those very kind of meaningfully. Every cover represents something. So the first cover we did is "Pokes Out Annie," and we wanted to pay tribute to Tony Joe White, who passed away. I met him at the Blues Music Awards about it's going on 2 years now, and then and I got my friend Joe Louis Walker on that track. Then also, we did "Nobody Wants to Die" or "Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven," which Jesse, you recommended that I should do that. And Mike and I were going through the list of various recommendations through myself, people like you who were supporters of me who had recommended songs, and that one really fit really well for the album. And then we did "Moving On" by Gary Moore. And then Mike and I and Amanda Fish collaborate on a song. And then everything else is originals. But I really think the album, if I add one word to describe it, it's cohesive. and it's the Tyler Morris style, if you will. So yeah, I'd be happy to play a few tunes. I guess I could kick it off with "Everybody Wants to Go to Heaven," since that was your request, and that is probably one of my favorite tunes, if not my favorite, to play on the record, and hopefully soon live. So, yeah. Awesome. So this song is actually originally by Don Nix. I first heard the Albert King version, and I wanted to pay a tribute to that while kind of putting a ZZ Top kind of vibe on it. And that's something that Mike Zito and I kind of figured out this arrangement. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody wants to laugh, but nobody wants to cry. Everybody wants to laugh, but nobody wants to cry. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Everybody wants. Everybody wants to tell the truth, but they're still telling lies. Everybody wants to tell the truth, but they're still telling lies. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Let's play some guitar. Everybody wants to know the reason without even asking why. Everybody wants to know the reason without even asking why. Everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to die. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you for that rendition of it.
Yeah.
I envisioned you doing it, but I couldn't imagine how great it would sound. It really is excellent.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for recommending it, because It was the first song we tracked on the record. I forgot to mention this is the first record that I'm singing vocals on 70% of the album, or actually more than that, like 80. And I really kind of needed to get in the zone for that. I was very nervous the first day of recording. We did this album in about 3 days, and that song got me in the zone because I immediately I was like, oh, Mike, I'm not sure if I can sing my originals yet, because they're less defined. And he said, oh, well, why don't we try, Nobody Wants to Die? So we tried that one. That was the first one we did, and it gave me the confidence to do the rest of the album. So I'm glad you suggested that because it kicked off the whole vibe.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about another song on the album and play it for us?
Yeah, there's this song I'd like to do next called Young Man's Blues. This song features my friend and fellow New England native, Ronnie Earl. And Ronnie's been a big mentor to me. And the concept of Young Man's Blues is Mike had said to me before I came down there, I had like 25 songs and we had to narrow them down. And he said, hey, even though you have all these songs, what about a song where you reiterate to the audience how you feel around other young peers who don't necessarily associate the blues as their music. People who are in like my classmates who maybe they haven't discovered the blues yet or they listen to other genres. So I wrote this song, Young Man's Blues, because sometimes I feel kind of isolated being a young blues fan and into this genre. And obviously my goal as a musician-songwriter is to get that music out there and to have my peers learn something new about not just this genre, but all the genres and the artists that I love and respect. So that's what this song is about. The other layer to this song is it's kind of a modern spin on a kind of Muddy Waters standard riff, one of those. And I saw how people evolved that for Muddy Waters to get a guy like Joe Walsh who does Rocky Mountain Way, and they just kind of sought influence from a riff like that Muddy. I have first heard it on Mannish Boy. So I wanted to also give the song more of my own spin. And the reason that Ronnie, I chose to have him on that track was because it kind of represents, and I say this humbly, we're the newer generation artists like me, my friend Kingfish, and just so many young artists. And this song, this is actually Mike's idea because I said, hey, Mike, Ronnie Earl wants to be on a track, which track should we have him on? And Mike said, well, this is you expressing how there's maybe a generation gap between your blues peers. So what if you had Ronnie on this track as kind of a passing the torch thing? And I say that humbly because, I don't want to ever feel that I'm portraying some pretentious about myself, but Ronnie is kind of literally passing the torch because he is on this track. He's actually soloing "We're Trading," and that's something we've done on the bandstand many times, and he's honored me by letting me come on the bandstand. I think I'm gonna I'll do this song, and keep in mind too, I'm doing this all without lyrics, kind of off the cuff from my living room, so I may sing a verse twice or whatever, but that's part of what I consider the natural style of blues music, and all the music I certainly love is very kind of off the cuff and very natural. So
Very nice. Very nice explanation. I think that's beautiful what you said about passing the torch. And I don't think there's any pretentiousness there. I think it's a beautiful sentiment, and I'm sure he's very proud to be helping you with that. So it's wonderful, Tyler. Wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's do this one. One, two, three. Raised on Clapton, Robert Johnson too, Albert King. He taught me what to do. Use modern music, don't have much soul. I know I'm crying, but this job's just got to go. I found the blues, I found the young man's blues. You can keep your music, and I'll keep these young man's blues. My friends don't understand. Say I'm too old school. When I go to parties, you will listen to. When I go to parties, I can't catch a groove. How can I dance when your music don't make me move? I found the blues, I found the young man's blues. You can keep your music, and I'll keep these young man's blues. Ronnie Earl. I'm from Boston, my heart's in Tennessee. Just play my guitar, don't need no technology. Don't need no distractions, look behind some screen. I'm into my guitar, I play just what I need. I found the blues, I found the young man's blues. You can keep your music, and I'll keep these young man's blues. You can keep your music, and I'll keep these young man's blues.
That's very nice, Tyler. I was thinking of something as you were talking before the song. You had mentioned that it's sometimes difficult for your peers and classmates to understand what the blues is in a world that seems to be dominated by EDM and other music genres like that. How do you explain that to your peers? How do you tell them what the blues is?
Well, it is rather difficult, and I don't want to, like, a lot of there are a lot of people who will disregard those genres, and I don't want to disregard any music genre. I mean, if it makes you feel some, if they like EDM or whatever, I'm not going to disregard that. And I try to expose myself to everything, so I am able to at least understand where someone's coming from. But I guess how I explain the blues is I start with the message of the blues, which it's something I actually a few days ago I kind of put into words. I did a issue with Blues Music Magazine online, and they asked me kind of what the blues is to me, and I said, I mean, your mission is to, you have basically three things. You have to uplift fan spirits. You have to generate a new take, your original take on the world, and reflect that to the audience. And I mean, the third is just to kind of embody, not even just the chord structure of the blues, but it's really the soul of what these people were feeling. Original guys like Robert Johnson, then the next generation, Albert King, Clapton, and there's so many generations. But what I don't get stuck up on so much is there's a lot of thought around, oh, if you play blues, you have to play a 1-4-5, you have to use this chord progression, whatever it may be. And to me, hey, why do you need to do that? Because it's more about, the blues is more emotion, and that's present in all types of music. And there's a certain rhythm, a certain syncopation, even in the vocal melody. So sometimes I guess to peers, I'll point out someone like, hey, like Bruno Mars or something, and I'll say, okay, well, he got that from James Brown, and James Brown was definitely hearing the blues, definitely schooled in the blues, and I really try to explain to them that, hey, if you want to just get a better understanding of even the music you're listening to, even EDM and whatnot, all those rhythms date back to the blues. And I don't even want to say date back, because I feel like it's living embodiment in what we do now as well. There's pop artists like John Mayer, and even guys like Ed Sheeran, that you can hear some of this music and this influence in their work too. So I just try to point out obvious things I hear them. If I hear an Albert King lick, I'll be like, oh, where you got that from, and I'll just show them directly a clip. But yeah, you do have to be careful, because sometimes people, if I show them a clip of something that was ripped off, or like in some cases, this pop music, they'll take riffs from blues songs, rock songs of all genres, and if you show that to someone, sometimes they can get offended. So you have to do it in the right way, where you say, hey, I'm not attacking your music, I just want to show that they have influence. And yeah, and that's, I even got something in there for the last verse that that's my favorite verse, where I talked about, all I need's my guitar, and my guitar, and I need my and I don't need technology, and that's something that I mean, I'm an engineering major and whatever, but I'm more drawn to the analog electronics. I don't really like being on social media, and I wish I didn't have to do that, but it's just kind of how the industry is going. I would prefer to be outside and playing guitar, and not have to deal with really being on a screen so much. I like interacting with people at venues, in real life. Or in this case, I guess you have to be on a screen with this virus for so long. But to me, I would rather be interacting on Zoom and like what we're doing now on Skype, as opposed to just scrolling through Facebook and you're liking and stuff. But it's not a real interaction. That's what I wanted to get across in that last verse, is that, hey, we need to kind of look at how many hours you spend on the day. I get a notification from Apple that sometimes I'm spending 8 hours a day on my phone just because I need to get posts out and things. And it's like, I think if we all kind of step back from that and focus on real connections and calling someone instead of texting them, I think we would get a lot more of that whole blues sentiment back. Like I like to, and I almost say like try to embody the spirit of the blues, in the way that guys like Ronnie Earl and Walter Trout and Bob Margolin have really taught me. And Joe Louis Walker, he also brings that up a lot. So yeah.
I think that's a beautiful explanation, and it covers a lot of ground. I mean, it covers, the feeling of isolation, even when you're with people through social media, it still feels isolating that, yeah, I spent 8 hours on my phone, but I literally didn't speak to another human today, and it's a weird feeling. And, you do right now actually have your guitar, and you have some technology, and you have us. So I would like to know what you're going to play next.
Probably. I mean, I could do a number of things. Before the COVID thing happened, we were prepping for a whole tour with my trio. So I have the whole album pretty much down. So probably the title track, "Living in the Shadows." And I mean, before I played a bit about this, this is like the second or first song that I had down for this album, dating back to a year and a half ago. And this is a riff where I wrote this riff and I said, obviously this is a blues centered record, but I wrote this riff and I said, this is influenced, but this is my riff. This is something that is mine. And I was so happy when I wrote this. So, I'll do that song, "Living in the Shadows." And also the meaning has kind of changed of this song. It used to be kind of what we were saying before, I feel overwhelmed with technology and I want to get away, and I'm going to go away and I'm going to, take a meditating break or something and come back to everything, come back to life. And this song has changed how it is interpreted now, because like "Living in the Shadows," I want to tell people when I sing the song that you're not, alone. You might you feel like you're living alone, living, at your house. You can't interact with people in real life, but through things like Skype and we're really all into this more together than we have been in a while, because everyone is just leaning on each other through the phone, of course, and we're really, I think, more supportive now. So that's how the message has changed. So yeah, I'm gonna play this one for you, and this one starts off with guitar. And I'm going back till the clouds go away, and I'm living like a rock and I'll fade away, and the dust settles in the back of my train, giving up, done and run away. I'm living in the shadows, I'm running way too long. I'm living in your shadow, I know I did you wrong, and I'm finally lost here with my shadow, looking for help in the strangest ways. You better watch your back in the still of the night. Here I go again, ready for the fight. I'm living in the shadows, I'm running way too long. I'm living in the shadows, I know I did you wrong. I'm living in the shadows. You know, I'm living in the shadows. I've been running way too long. You know, I'm living in the shadows. You know, I did you wrong. You know, I'm living in the shadows. I've been running way too long. You know, I'm living in the shadows. You know, I did you wrong. And I'm going back till the clouds go away. And I'm living like a rock and I fade away. And the dust settles in the back of my truck. Kicking up sand, gonna run away. You know, living in the shadows.
Wow.
I love that.
That's really something.
I love that, Tyler.
Nice. I really appreciate you're spending the time with Audrey and me today to share some music from your new album. And I want everyone who's watching or listening to realize that not only is Tyler a great guitarist and songwriter and performer, he's also an engineer and an inventor. And thanks to Tyler, we have an incredible thing here, a treble booster, the BRI treble booster that he made. And he makes these beautiful devices that are owned by a lot of stars. I'm lucky to have one of them. And you do such great work on such a variety of levels, Tyler. We really appreciate your being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me, and you know, I'm glad you like the booster. I've been recently, you know, expanding that business and stuff. So especially in all this downtime, been making a ton of pedals and been getting in a bunch of orders from, I mean, you know, just consumers as well as some of the stars that you mentioned. I make some pedals for.
Well, we really appreciate you on a variety of levels, and thank you for sharing with the worldwide audience this really uplifting and great music. And we wish you and your family the best of health, and we can't wait to see the response to this album as it rolls out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, take care. Good to see you, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Great to see you.
All the best. Take care.
We love you, Tyler. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye.
Love you guys.
Love you. See
Bye.
you later.